Now, let me say this, that I just did the weekly market report, and what's happening is that we have a silver position here now that I've been talking about on the weekly market, on the midweek report. If you did not get that, we have a brand new YouTube page that is going as Sticky Trades video on YouTube. And I talked about silver, and I know a lot of you are asking about silver already. This was a major gap up. Silver was up almost $1, and we have an extremely high volume day today. Now, even though that volume is high, I still sold 5% of my position because I told everyone I was going to do that. So I followed through on my word that I was going to do that, because if I tell everyone I'm going to do that and everyone does it and then I decide not to do it, well, that's not fair. I want to be in there with all of you. If you're going to follow me on silver, then I'm pretty much going to have the same trades as you. So I sold it at 22.12 today. I sold 5%. Now, it might go higher, and I'm okay with that. Why? Because I still have 95% of my position. You see, I still have 95% of my position. So if it goes up to test that resistance or goes up all the way here to fill the gap, what am I going to do? It's up to the high. Now, again, X-Daddy is saying not financial advice, right? No, I'm just telling you what I'm doing. If you want to follow, that's great. If you don't want to follow, then you can learn a lesson. Not a problem at all. But if that gap fills, I'm going to be keeping a much closer eye on the volume as it approaches this gap fill resistance. Why is that? In the chat box, who wants to answer that question, why I'm watching the volume as it approaches that resistance? Hey, Paul. Yeah, we got a volume role reversal, but if the volume starts dropping as it's approaching resistance, that means that the buyers are losing momentum. So if I see that and I see a little bit of a pivot, or if I see the CCI down here pivoting, then guess what I'm going to do? Sell another 10%. And I'm still going to be into my position 85%. And I love trading silver, even though they are manipulating it like crazy. I don't care. I really don't care, because if they keep it in a trading range, what happens? I get to buy more, right? I get to buy more every single time, and that is okay with me. All right, I'm going to change my mic here. I just noticed I'm not on my mic here. I'm on the computer. Can everyone still hear me okay? You still good on the volume? Good? Okay. And John, thank you. I got your email. I appreciate that as well. You know, folks, let me stop for a minute, and I might get a little choked up here, but bear with me. I tend to wear my emotions on my sleeve, but hey, so be it. I cannot thank you all enough. I never told anyone, hey, leave this publisher here or leave that place over there or leave that. You could stay wherever you want. I am so appreciative that you are all seeking me out and following me. The response has been absolutely overwhelming, absolutely overwhelming. Now look at this. We have 9 minutes left before the top of the hour, and we only have 6 seats left. Remember I said seating was limited in my post. We only have 6 seats left, and we didn't even get at the top of the hour yet. This is what we're talking about here, folks. Kelly, I don't know if you saw my email as well. I sent you one as well. All right, so let's get back on track. You're going to be absolutely blown away when we do the big reveal. You're probably not going to even believe what my partners and I have done in literally 7 weeks. We started from nothing 7 weeks ago, and I sensed that something was going on, that I'd have to make the move by the end of July. For those of you who are programmers or web designers, whatever, you will not believe what we have accomplished in 7 weeks. We've got a dream team here, and they're handling it like all in stride. All right, now let me do this. I'm going to take some ticker symbols, but first I have to do what I always do and go back and look at the star favorites. Now, if you're brand new because you're coming to me through YouTube, or you found me on Twitter, understand this, that I promote what's called the trading checklist. I have a trading checklist that I follow. And what I do is I look at the conditions of the market. I look for buy signals. I look for sell signals. And then I stack them up one side or the other. Sometimes we'll get evenly matched buy signals versus sell signals. Sometimes that happens. Well, if that happens, it's not going to be a star favorite. But if all of a sudden I see all the buy signals stacking up on one side and it meets the criteria there, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to put that as a star favorite. And by the way, we just hit max seating. We're sold out. So I have to make this announcement. If you're listening to the recording, thank you for picking up on the recording. Sorry you got bumped off Zoom. Again, this has never happened to us before. Good problem to have. All right, so going back to what I was talking about, if my trading checklist shows all buy signals, that will be a star favorite. And if your stock is picked as a star favorite because all the technicals are stacking up, then guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to mention your name next week, and then we're going to have the fun all over again with that very same stock. So here we go. Brunel asked for AMD last week. All right, now look at this, folks. For those that are brand new, I think you might be a little impressed. I don't want to sound like I'm bragging or boasting here. You might be impressed. All right, so right here was my forecast line from last Wednesday. Look what happened yesterday. We hit that target to the penny, and what happened after that? Bounced. So there it is. It's a score. It bounced. Now, for AMD, I would love to be able to say, oh, it's going to go higher, and I think it could. But look at the drop in volume today. We have a drop in volume on the way up slightly, and the CCI, while it's not an overbought condition yet, it is close to an overbought. So I think AMD is going to go up to test this resistance up here. I'm doing this very slowly, but I'll be ramping up later. All right. So, and then after that, I think we're going to come right back to where we were yesterday. I think it's going to be stuck in this very narrow trading range. Now, I'm still leaning more to the downside on AMD. And why might that be? Can anyone tell me in the chat? Why might I still be leaning to the downside? Can anyone see a particular pattern that's popping out? Right? All right, so Matt is saying, where do I see AJ's charts? Can everyone see my charts? Please help Matt if he's having a problem there. Okay. Well, it's not necessarily an ABCD, although it could be. This to me looks like a flagpole and an inverted flag. That's what it looks like. Now, go Google images, go to Google Images and look at inverted flag patterns. If it breaks out below 110, which is, again, it's the top of the flag, but it's inverted there. If it's at the top of the flag, we got videos popping up. I certainly hope that Samsung has closed on there. Don't point the camera lower, okay? I'm gonna stop your video there. Yeah, folks, you're being recorded if you put your video on, so please make sure you have clothes on. All right, all right. So breaking out below the top of the flag, which if it's inverted, it's the bottom here. You could expect the distance of the flagpole to be carried down as a new price target. See that? So I do believe it's going to go a little bit higher. I think it's going to come back down, but I still think it's going to remain within that flag. All right. So it's not a star favorite. It was. We've hit the target, and there we go. Next, on to the next one. Hold on, I just lost my screen. On to the next one is going to be GIS. Now this one is going to be General Mills. And I have a forecast on here that's a longer term forecast that is to the upside. Now, General Mills is now at a key support level here. Volume dropped on Monday. So the volume dropped on the way down. Now it's starting to pick up. But look what happened yesterday. Now, this is going to remain as a star favorite, folks. I'll show you why. Remember I said about the trading checklist. I'll take it out actually, right? Take the trading checklist out for those of you that are following along with my trading checklist. I have a bullish Harami yesterday. Well, that's bullish. I have a drop in volume on Monday on the way down here. That's bullish. A drop in volume on the way down is bullish. We have a buy signal on this CCI. We are oversold, but almost crossing on a buy signal on stochastic. we have 2 gaps above the market, and we have a wide divergence from the moving average. There you go. So all signals are still showing bullish tendencies. Now, is that a guarantee it's going to go up? No. It just tells me to keep it on the star favorite list. That's all that is. That's all that does for us, right? So that upside target is still in place for General Mills. That's 78.98. We have scorekeepers on here. For those who are brand new, I actually asked the audience to hold me accountable to my targets. I actually do that. And I'm okay with that because I know I'm not going to be right 100% of the time. But I am right a lot of the time, and you're witnessing that right now. So General Mills stays on the star favorite. Now here's one, a favorite of ours. I'll cough with a frog in my throat. I had a downside target on this one. How many of you, by a show of hands with a Y, how many of you took a short position in Boyle last week when I put a downside target on that? John, you did? Now, why did I put a downside target on that? Oh, look at that. Gaps below the market. Oh, there and there. Well, look at that. On Friday, we hit the downside target. What did it do? It bounced. Isn't that amazing? Now, I still think that Boyle is going to drop a little bit more because look at the massive volume that we saw today. It's probably 25% more volume than it was yesterday. And the oscillators are getting ready to, they're kind of mixed. We got a buy cross on the stochastic, but we got a continued hinge on the downside. All right. Now, I know someone is taking target prices on there. Let me just go back to AMD. Someone's asking about the price target. Upside target on AMD to 110.83, and then a downside target of upside target, upside target up here at 116.53, then a turn lower at 110.83. Now I'm going to let a little bit of a secret out of the bag, folks. Ready for this? I can't tell you the name yet. This will be part of the great reveal. But we're securing a partnership with a major charting company that's going to put a channel on their platform. That's my channel. It's AJ's channel. And if I put notes on my chart, you will see the notes on your chart if you're connected to my channel. It's dynamic. I'll put notes, I'll put targets, I'll put trend lines, resistance, and as I'm drawing it, and you hit connect, boom, you're gonna have it. It's gonna be unbelievable. Your trading world is gonna be rocked, folks. It's gonna be rocked. So I let a little bit of I let a kitten out of the bag. Okay, I let a kitten out of the bag. All right, so I'm putting on another video. Who's that? Jeff Mark. Make sure you got. All right, you got your. All right, Jeff has got all his clothes on. We're good. All right, so I'm going to stop that video. Okay, now, so that was for AMD. Back to Boyle. Now, for those of you that trade Boyle, you will know that the opposite of Boyle is KOLD. Now, my target on Boyle is going to go a little bit lower because of the volume. That's it. So I'm putting a downside target of 59.25. 59.25, not a star favorite. Why? Because we have a conflict. We have a buy signal on the stochastic and a hinge lower on the CCI with volume increasing on the way down. You see? So it's not going to make the star favorite. However, the next stock is KOLD. Now, I do have a position in this. I do have a position. My upside target on KOLD is 68.58. I'm keeping the upside target at 68.58. But I'm not keeping it on the star favorite. I'm keeping it as a target because look what happened today. Cold crossed over that zero line. For those of you who are brand new to the CCI, when it crosses over that black line or the zero line, you generally get 2 to 4 days of upside movement. If it crosses above, you generally get 2 to 4 days of downside if it crosses below. So I'm keeping that upside target. I do have a position in this. For you option traders, I'm short the 60 puts and I'm long the 55 puts. I'm keeping that till next Friday. Hopefully, if it drops and closes below 60 on high volume, I'm going to get out, take my profit, and move on. But right now, I'm short a put spread, which is bullish, a bullish condition. All right. Again, for those of you that are listening to the recording and couldn't get in, we're maxed out on seating. I will talk to our partners to make sure we have more seats for Monday, and we won't have that problem again. See, what happened is, by the way, I opened up this to the public. That's probably why we're getting such a mad rush. There's members who have followed my alerts over time, subscribers, but in order to communicate with everyone, we opened up to the public, and that's what's happening. The public is hitting the Zoom seats right now. Okay, so again, my apologies for those that are listening to the recording because you couldn't get in. All right, so that's KOLD. Upside target still in place, not a start favorite. Very close to hitting that. BIDU, what happened with this? I didn't have a chance to look at BIDU. What happened? This was, first of all, let me read to you the names of the people that submitted all these stocks last time. It was AMD was Brunel, GIS was Gino, Boyle was Ammer and Derek, Cold was Ammer, and now Baidu is Mark. What happened on the downside? Mark, look at that, Mark. Mark, are you on? Shout out in the chat. Mark gave me a look, a ticker symbol. What did I say? I said it's going to go down to fill the gap. What happened? Filled the gap. The target was 137.44. The low was 137.42. Look at that. We hit it and went 2 cents below it and bounced. Again, I sound like I'm boasting. I'm not. I'm raving about the charts. I'm raving about this. If you learn how to read charts, it's not going to be right all the time, but it will certainly help you with risk management and establishing targets. Yes, John, thank you for relaying that. I have everything on my Twitter feed, and I'm building on that line of communication. Thank you so much for repeating that. All right, so Baidu, where do we go now? Uh-oh, we got a resistance. I'm going to erase all the lines now that all of the targets have been hit. Again, all downside targets have been hit. What do we have above? Resistance. So because of the increase in volume, because the oscillators are still going up, I think Baidu is going to go up. So first target to the upside is going to be 150.93. Then I think we're coming right back down over time to fill the gap. So it's a two-part forecast. I could go with a four-part forecast if you like. You want me to do that? Upside target because of the volume at 150.93. Then I think we're going to see a drop in volume. Then, because of the drop in volume and a wide divergence from the moving average, I think we're going to hit the downside target of 144, and I think you're going to get a stochastics hinge, and I think you're going to see the CCI hinge. So there it is, five-part forecast. 1, 2, 3, 4, five-part forecast. It is going to remain on the start favorite now as a five-part forecast because I want to track that. And again, no one is going to do that at all. No one. Let me take a note on this one. This is going to be a start favorite 5-point forecast. There you go. Hold me to it now. Hold me to it. I want you all to track that with me. Okay. Next one. This is all in review. And then we have Robert is texting me. He's pulling from the chat box. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get through these star favorites, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and go to the new stocks. All right. So this one was IONQ. This was another 5-part forecast. Look what I see here. I said it would go up. It did go up. It hit the target. Then I said it would hit resistance and come back down. So this is still in play. Look down below. So part 1 already hit. We hit the upside target. Part 2, the drop in volume is hit. Part 3, we got a negative divergence now on the CCI and on the stochastic and a hinge on the CCI. So this is 4 and 5. So the only one we're missing, this is a 5-part forecast now. The only thing we're waiting for now is for part 3 of that forecast to hit. And then you'll have 100% hit rate on a 5-point forecast. Again, think about that for a second. For those of you who are brand new, if you could learn how to read the charts like this, and let's say you're an option trader, how could you use a 5-part forecast when trying to maybe leg into a spread? Or how would you use a 5-part forecast when putting on or even taking off or rolling in a spread? Okay. That's incredible. All right, so we've got, oh, look at that. We've got a link showing up with RCA. RCA is posting from Sticky Trades a link that will allow you to activate or continue your subscriber service. There it is. Can everyone see that? It came in at 6:07. Very exciting to see that. 6:07. You click on that link and you are a current subscriber of any of my services I formerly had at the other publisher, then I will honor that service at no additional cost to you. In other words, I got you back. I got you back. You're not going to lose money. You won't even have to ask for a refund. I will continue that service for you because I've always mentioned this, and I continue to mention that my focus is on building relationships. I cannot replace you. I can replace money and money lost, but I can't replace you, right? You're the most valuable part of this equation as we roll out the Sticky Trades website and services. You're the most valuable part of this whole equation. So there we go. Thank you. All right, now going on. So that downside target is still in place. I'll continue to track that one as well. Nancy put out, oh, by the way, that was Miles, aka John, putting out IONQ. I am also shouting out to Nancy, who suggested W. What happened here? Well, there you go, Nancy. If you're on, there we go. I had a downside target of 58.23. What happened? We hit that level, and then the very next day, what is that candle? Bullish harami, and it took off. Hit the downside target, and then it took off. Now what? Well, I see, and I could even smell a hanging man at the top on lower volume. So this, I can tell you already, is going to be a downside star favorite target. So we're carrying that one on over for W. This is Wayfair Inc. 64.81, that is a star favorite. Nancy will be mentioned. Again, for those of you that were keeping track, I'll repeat that downside target of 64.81. 64.81. Next one, GNRC. This is one of my favorite hurricane stocks to trade. Why is that? Well, there it is. There's the evidence. Again, another downside target hit. Now, that was a technical pullback because of the gap again. See how that keeps repeating? It filled the gap and then showed what the next day? A bullish engulfing. And then it rallied right back up to resistance. What do we have here now, folks? Now we have a resistance point that is being reached. Remember the drop in volume that I was talking about with silver? Look at this. We got a drop in volume on the way up with a spinning top, gap below the market, wide divergence from that moving average. We got a negative divergence on the CCI hinging. And we do have, well, it's not a negative divergence. So guess what? I'm still going to go with a downside target to fill the gap because there's enough evidence. The only thing that we're lacking is the stochastic, and even then is very close to a negative divergence. So downside target for Generac is 142, 142.48. There we go. So Robert, you will be mentioned. Next one is Vic. I'm sorry, Vic had mentioned AI. What do we got here? Another target hit? Where's my lines? Oh, there we go. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Target hit here, target hit here. Oh, look at that. We hit the target yesterday. Maybe we even hit the target on Friday, but that's a definite hit. Now, what do we see, folks? In the chat box, what is that? What is that called? Can anyone tell me? Randy said it. It's going down, I think. But why? It's a bearish engulfing, Julie, not bullish. It's a bearish engulfing. That's a high probability bearish candle. I'm going to the downside. Here we go with the forecast. Ready? Not going to be a big downturn on this one, but I think we're going to take out that low, and I think we're going to go below the moving average. So this is a star favorite. Vic is going to be mentioned again next week when we do this all over again with many more seats in the room. And that downside target is 37.17. 37.17. For those of you that are listening to the recording, you do not see the chat. So what we will do is we will, in the broadcast on my Twitter, I will post the link that Robert put in there so you can pick up on your subscription service from me. We'll put that in the link on the social media channels. Right now, YouTube and Twitter are my favorites right now. All right, DU says, love trading AI. Well, it's hitting all the targets. This one came very, very close. This was a big downside call from back here. came very, very close. I think it missed it by pennies, but then look at that. Bullish Harami and went right back up. Now we got bullish bearish engulfing. I think it's going to go right back down. So again, that stays on the star favorite list, and Vic will be mentioned. Next one, Eugene was looking for RMBS, Rambus. What happened there? Did we hit a target? Yeah. Oh, this is a close call, folks. I put a downside target there at 59.64. What was the low from yesterday? 59. Oh, look at that. Missed it by 12 cents. All right. Well, scorekeepers will not give me a point on that, but look what happened after we came within pennies of hitting that downside target and the gap filling. See how the gap works? Not 80% of the gaps fill. What happens after 80% after gaps fill? 80% of the time it reverses. But guess what? I'm not gonna move that little downside target. In fact, what I'm gonna do, I'm going a little bit lower. Can anyone tell me why? Drop in volume on the way up. The oscillators have gone flat. And if we close back below that moving average, we're going right back down. So this is not a star favorite. I'm going to go right down. Hold on. I got to erase that and go a little bit lower. I think it's going lower than the previous target. So there we go. Downside target now is 59.40. Eugene, did you trade Rambus? Are you on here? You sold Rambus? You sold Rambus last week, John? Okay. All right. Well, hopefully we got our regulars showing up on here because I'm calling them out. Eugene is one of them, and hopefully he has a position. All right, so that's Rambus, not a star favorite. Too many neutral signals on the oscillators. Now, Dan was asking for OPRA, Opera Inc. All right, now, what do we got? Oh, look at this, folks. I love it when this happens. Can you see it? Here was a 5-pie forecast. 4 out of the 5 parts have hit. Upside target was hit. Drop in volume occurred. That happened. We have a slight hinge now forming on the stochastic, and we have a definite hinge on the CCI. What are we waiting for right now? For the downside target to hit, which is number 3. I think that's going to hit. I'm keeping that in place, downside target, as a star favorite of $20.92. That is Dan. Next one came to us, Mark. That was XOM, ExxonMobil. What do we have? Did we hit a downside target? Yes, we did. Another one, folks. Downside target, 104.99. There's mixed signals here, but what I'm looking at on ExxonMobil is this drop in volume yesterday. We now have a gap fill. It's an official gap fill. So now that this gap, let me point the gaps out if you're brand new to gaps. That's a gap. 80% of the time gaps fill, but we're still waiting for the pullback after the gap has filled, right? So I'm going right back down on ExxonMobil to the moving average. Not a big downturn, but 105.27, not a star favorite, which means that, Mark, you're not going to be mentioned next week. AAPL was Dr. Rob was asking about good old Apple, the darling of Wall Street. He's concerned. Rob, if you're on here, I think you're still short the 205 calls or something, or the 195 calls, something like that. Well, guess what, Rob? I was right. The charts were right, I should say. We hit that downside target of 189.40. Now what? I think we're going back up a little bit, but I don't think it's going up like crazy. This is an upside target that will star favorite to the volume yesterday is bullish. We have a pivot point is absolutely happening, no question about it. And the volume is increasing on the way up now. That is bullish. CCI crossed back up over the momentum line, and we have a wide divergence right there at that moving average. So I'm very comfortable with my upside target in Apple. And oh, did I lose connection here? Someone's telling me to short Starlink. Dale, is that right? Did you lose me? All right. All right, I'm back. Oh, man. All right, I'm back. All right, so let me repeat that. Apple, upside target, remaining as a star favorite. Right there, upside target of 191.95, but I do not believe it's going to go much higher than this high. I think we're going to start to see a downturn. I'll get to that in a minute when I talk about the VIX. All right, MU MU. Now by the way, I started 15 minutes early, so we still have about 45 minutes, maybe an hour left from here. So we got plenty of time to go over 40, maybe 50 stocks. Here was another one, folks. This was a 5-part forecast. Now this is killing me here because my downside target was 60.37. 60.37. What was the low? The low was 60.50. So we were 13 cents from hitting that. So I did a 5-part forecast. Guess what? I don't get credit on that. For those of you who trade, yeah, all right, maybe you made some money. But guess what? I'm looking at a 5-part forecast. I said we'd go down. We did that, but we didn't hit the target. And what happened is the volume dropped. Hard to see it, but I have a volume bar right there. It's right on that candle. I said we would see a drop in volume. We did. I said we'd see a pivot on the stochastic. I said we'd see a pivot on the CCI. Those have all happened, and the upside target has hit. So there you go. 80% hit rate on a 5-part forecast. Again, that's incredible if you are a trader. And don't rely on me to tell you to do this. Folks, don't rely on me to tell you to do this. Learn how to do this. We will help you learn how to do this so you don't rely on anyone. So at a moment's notice, you could look at this and go, I know what I'm going to do. I know how I'm going to trade it. I know how I'm going to take a profit. I know how I'm going to manage risk. You're going to know how to do this if you stick with me because I teach through what? Repetition. So now that the upside target is hit, I think we could go a little bit more. I'm going to go up. I think we could go a little bit more. And then I think we're going to pivot right from that moving average. So I think it's going to do just that. So upside target of 65.08, downside target after that of 63.21. Not a star favorite. So Grimmy, that was yours. And good luck with that one. Your name won't be mentioned on that one, but maybe you will if you pick another star favorite here. All right. Now, I didn't tell Robert this, but he's typing in symbols. We don't have names, so I'm not going to be able to go back and get names on this one. I'm going to ramp it up as we move forward here. All right, so the next one was MXI. MXI, folks, this was a double star favorite. Was it MXI or MXL? I'm sorry, MXL, MXL. I was wondering why my targets weren't there. This was, look at that, folks. This was a double star favorite. Now, some people are saying, what the heck are you doing? This sounds hokey, right? Star favorites, double star favorites. A double star favorite is the best of the star favorites. That's it. And guess what? The very next day after I called it, it hit that downside target. And then what happened the day after that? It pivoted. Now what do we have? We have an increase in volume on the way up. That's interesting because I think we could go a little bit higher. And then I think we're coming right back down to fill the gap. All right. Here's a 2-part forecast. I'm going to mention this again. This is I'm going to do a 5-part forecast here. We got a long stretch of green. That means we're due for a red. I think we're going to get a drop in volume maybe as soon as tomorrow, right? So part 1, upside target at 33.97. Then part 2 of the forecast, drop in volume. Part 3, I think we're going to see a hinge in the stochastic. And then I think we're going to see a hinge on the CCI to a sell signal, at which time forecast 5 will be the downside target of 32.01. Please hold me accountable. Please hold me accountable. If you're one of our fans and you promote my videos and our YouTube channel and my Twitter page, we are on a campaign to where this will eventually be a financial network show. We have a name for it already. We're going to market this as a show. You will be included on that show, just like now. Your name will be mentioned if we get this on cable. And boom, you've helped us launch this. And guess what happens when now, instead of many hundreds and thousands watching us, what about 100,000 people watching this? You think that'll be more impactful on hitting price targets? If you're getting it right out of the gate during an open market, could you imagine that? If during an open market I do this, wow, that's putting the odds in your favor. No guarantees, right? But definitely puts the odds in your favor when the crowd is behind you. All right, So that is, Adrian, that is yours. We're continuing on with a 5-part forecast on that. AMAT, applied material. Here we go. Did we hit the downside target? Oh, yes, we did right there. Downside target was hit at 138.88. Now what do we have? Oh, this is interesting. I'm going to erase all these target lines. I'm going to go down again, though, but I'm going to do another two-parter on the upside. I think it's going to rally up to the moving average, but look at that moving average. Can you see it? See how the moving average is curving right now? The moving average, now that the price is below that moving average, the moving average is going to act as a resistance. That's why I'm doing the two-parter. I think it's going to pull back from resistance now that the volume is dropping as it's hitting that resistance. You see that? So there you go. That is another two-parter, but it's not a star favorite, right, Don? Next one. This is the last of the star favorites from last week. AXSM. Oh, look at that. Did we hit the upside target? No, not yet. And why do I say not yet? Well, I think it's still going to make a move up to fill the gap. Now, this is going to be a little tricky here because, look, we don't have convincing bullish or bearish signals. We have a bullish harami. Oh, yes, we do. We have a half signal and here a half signal, but we have an increase in volume on what could be a hanging man. You see that? That could be a hanging man candle. A hanging man candle is found at the end of an upward leg. All right. Now, that is going to be interesting. Now, I think we're going to go up, but I think we're going to come back down again. I think we're going to go, actually, I think we could go up a little bit and then come down a little bit. I think it's going to test. I'll do a little zigzag there. I think it's going to do something like that. I can't put this as a star favorite because ABCD patterns are extremely difficult to forecast, and I will help with that. All right, so upside, I'm going to give you a little zigzag anyway. 75.27 on the upside, then a pullback to 73.34, then a pivot back up to 76.48. Watch this. Keep an eye on this chart. Put it on your watch list. It's AXSM. All right, that is 17 stocks in the time since we started. Now, here's what I'm going to do. Robert, I think we got more than enough. I don't have names, but I will have to make up for that next week when we start shouting out names, okay? So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go right to the top of the list. CRM, right? CRM is Salesforce. What do we got here? We've got Salesforce showing a big green candle up at the top right there. Big green candle at the top and a gap below the market. Now, this is going to be interesting because I do believe that Salesforce is going to come back down in an effort to fill the gap. Look at the hinge on the CCI. So 216.90, that is going to be our first brand new star favorite. Why? Because you got a drop in volume on the way up, gap below the market, wide divergence from the moving average, oscillators are overbought, and the CCI hit almost 300. See that? Overbought is 100. Overbought is when it goes over the red line. This is like a record high reading on the CCI, and it's pivoting lower. That's why I'm going lower. So there's a downside target of 216.90. So we have about, what, $9 to the downside. Option traders will most likely be salivating over that one. All right, next one is GDXJ. GDXJ. What do we got here? Gold miners, I think it's going up. And then I think we're pulling back, just like that. Keep an eye on the volume. Here's another forecast for you. 5-part forecast. It'll go up. I'm gonna make this one again another 5-part forecast. I just can't make this a habit, folks, because you know what'll happen if I do this on a weekly market report, and let's say I do 5-point forecasts. I do 5 of them, and all but one out of those 5 hit. You know what's going to happen? They crush me. The trolls come out in droves. They come out and they crush me because I missed one out of 15 points, yeah, or 25 points. It's incredible what happens on the internet. But I'm going to do it anyway. First upside target, 39.36 because of the increase in volume. Then I think we're going to have a drop in volume, forecast number 2. Forecast number 3, the stochastic is going to hinge. and then the CCI is going to hinge. After that, downside target of 36.67, 36.67, putting another 5-pointer out there and keeping that as a 5-point star favorite. All right. Now, I got to tell you another little secret. My partners who are listening in right now are probably cringing. All right. We are working with world-class programmers to incorporate AI into this right here. Now, Adrian, I'm gonna go right out and record this. We have Adrian on the line. Adrian is a programmer who built a program that tracks my targets. Now, he is not part of our company. All right. He's on the other one. Okay. He's not in our company, but he tracks the hit rate. All right. And last, he told me it was a very high percentage of hit rate over a 2 to 3 month period. Now I'm going to ask him to keep going with that. But if you can imagine that we throw AI on top of this, what will that do for the percentage of accuracy? Well, my guess is that it's going to go up from here. If it's this accurate right now, imagine how good it's going to get when we throw AI in the mix. Okay. All right. Now listen, folks, leave Ryan alone over there. I'm going to take a pause because I have total respect for Ryan Mastro. I'm going to mention his full name. The guy is trying. He's a good analyst. He's an expert. I have total respect for him. Please don't give him any heck. Okay. He's doing his best. I'm just going to leave it at that. Okay. Please. I'm going to take the high road there. All right. So again, that's my forecast for GDXJ. Now, next one, going to Robert, DHI. This is DHI. We look at this DR Horton. This is very interesting because we're in a significant upward trend here. And you can see some of the past forecasts came close, but a lot of them didn't hit, but they came close. Okay. What I'm going to do on this one for DH Horton, you got to understand that I have a chart that I'm going to be showing on the weekly market report that's showing the cost of mortgages and rates and how that's going to affect expendable income. All right. And so I'm going to take a step back and look at this one. Now, this is extremely interesting because it looks to me like we got a bullish engulfing there. That's very interesting. I got to take another step back and look at the monthly. Ooh, big difference. Big difference. All right. I'm going with the monthly. Why is that? The monthly takes top priority of all time frames. We've got a hanging man right there. We got a hanging man. Yeah, we still have 19 days left in the month, but that's a drop in volume, and we're not even 20% of the volume. You get that? So we're probably going to have a low volume. Look at the oscillators. Look at the CCI hinging lower. So I think on the way down, DH Horton is going to take a hit. It might go a little bit higher, but I think ultimately it's going to come back down and fill the gap. So here's what we do. Because of the increase in volume in that big candle, I'm going to do a little zigzag there. Upside target, 125.24, then downside target of 120.49. There's no name on that one, but it doesn't matter because there is no star favorite attached to that. SARK is the next one that comes up. I would consider buying this one, actually. This is a short fund, right? You're shorting innovation daily ETF. That's very close to an inverted hammer. I'm going to go up with that one. Look at the drop in volume on the way down. That's bullish, by the way. Please take note. Brand new folks, if this is the first time you've been experienced to this adrenaline flow, then understand you could hit the rewind button on the recording and slow it down a little bit. Understand that inverted hammer found at the end of a downward leg is bullish. It's bullish. And I have videos that are going to explain what inverted hammers look like in our educational tab on our website. And that's, by the way, our educational videos, boom, are free. I'm starting to sound like an infomercial there. We're keeping it free so that you can enhance your education and not get overcharged for it. Okay. That's our gift to you. Now, 34.22 is my upside target. 34.22. I'm making that a star favorite on SARK. There we go. SARK, star favorite to the upside. Next one coming from my text messages here. DLTR, Dollar Tree. Is that right? DLTR, I think is Dollar Tree. Yeah, there it is. Oh, look at that. Sell it. Boom. On the way down. I think it's pulling back. I think a drop in volume on that spinning top is going to tell us lower. Not a star. Started freaking out today. Oh, I'm short the 2,800 calls. What do I do? What do I do? What do I tell you everyone to do? Sit on your hands. I think you lost me. Let me go this. All right, Tim. Thank you. All right. I'm pulling up BKNG, and I just said that some of our option traders are probably freaking out today because it went through their short strike. What do? I tell people all the time, sit on your hands. We still got a week and a half before expiration. And guess what? BKNG is showing a shooting star. I'm putting this as a star favorite to the downside. Why? Drop in volume yesterday, not today, drop in volume yesterday. And I think we're pulling back to 27.61.79. Can you see my box there? 27.61.79. Look at the hinge on the CCI. I have this short call position. I'm going to throw a little option there. Short the 2800s, long the 2850s. Am I worried right now? No, that's making me relax. And if it does go higher, option traders, we'll talk about this on Monday, which, by the way, I'm doing an hour and a half on Monday. Option traders open to the public until we get the website open. So bear with that. Make sure you get in early so the seats are going to fill up. But anyway, if you turn around and it starts going against you, option traders, all you have to do is roll out, spread the stance out, go out to August, do it for even or a slight credit, and then go back to sitting on your hands. That's how I'm trading it. I got to make sure I say it that way, right? That's how I'm trading it, right? I'll roll out, spread it out, sit on the hands, and wait till next expiration. All right, OIH. This is another position that we have. What's happening with OIH? Oh, look at that. Sell it. Downside target coming up. Ready? This is another downside target, star favorite. In fact, this is the first double star favorite, OIH. What is the double star favorite? The best of the star favorites. We already have the drop in volume, so I don't have to forecast that. We already have a hinge on the stochastic and the CCI. I don't have to forecast that. Do we have a wide divergence from the moving average? Oh, heck yeah, we do. We have an absolute wide divergence from that moving average. So I'm going downside with a double star favorite on OIH. I think the energy sector is a little overbought right here, overheated, if you want to say it that way, no pun intended. Downside target of 310.53. That is OIH. Double star favorite. All right, H, Hilton. Is it Hilton? Oh, Hyatt, excuse me. Sell it. Boom. Downside target. Look at that. Downside target of 116.53, 116.53. Why am I doing that? All right, I'll slow it down a little bit. We're getting a little nervous there. I'm going to talk too fast. There's support level. I could have gone a fraction higher, but I didn't. Now I draw a parallel line to the highs. I could have gone a fraction lower, but I didn't. What is that? That is an absolute trading channel. Perfect. That to me, a trading channel is money in the bank. That's how I started off doing seminars for Tony Robbins, teaching people that right there. I'll put my finger right there. That's teaching that right there is how I started and stayed with Tony Robbins for 9 years, teaching people how to trade the channel. This is a textbook example. Now, I'm going downside on this one. Look at your trading checklist. Going downside. What is my target? Well, I'm going to the first Fibonacci pullback level, 116.53. Some of you are saying, what the heck is Fibonacci? No, he was not a pianist. He wasn't an artist. He was a mathematician. Let me show you how I do this by eye. I have my eyeball on that low to this high. Where's my pullback point? Look at that, 38.2. That's where I dropped my line, 116.53, 116.53. So I'm going to remove the Fibonacci's now that you know how I did that. All right, that is, did I make that a star favorite to the downside? I am. I'm going to do that. Hyatt, downside, star favorite. There we go. All right, I got 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. We got 22 already, and we still got a lot of time. You having fun? I'm having fun. I got to ask the questions to make sure I'm still connected. That's why I'm looking for the chat box to move. Are you having fun? I hope so. All right. Now, next one is DWAC. All right, DWAC, digital fill the gap. I think it's going a little bit lower only because we have a slight increase in volume. Not a star favorite, but I think it's going to do this. Go down and then bounce. So downside target on DWAC is 1277. 1277. Then an upside rip to 1357, which doesn't seem like much, but percentage-wise, that would be pretty good. That's DWAC. UPS. Now, there's a strike. I haven't checked the news. I don't think they came to a settlement. Did they have a settlement yet? I haven't checked the news on that, but I would sell it anyway. I go downside on that one. Downside target of 181.64. 181.64. Look at the drop in volume. Look at the oscillators overbought. Look at the negative divergence on that CCI. See it? We got higher price highs. We got lower highs on the CCI. Negative divergence. Star favorite to the downside. UPS. UPS star favorite. There we go. All right. Next one is Airbnb. Did we have that one already? No, we did not. Airbnb. A lot of people have this one. All right. Airbnb. Oh, that came close to hitting that downside target here, but it didn't. I'm going right back down. I'm going right back down on Airbnb. All right. I read an article recently that property owners are selling their properties for the Airbnb properties. So we'll see how that works out. Downside target for Airbnb is 132.09. 132.09. A shout out. Who put this one out there on the board, on the chat box? Who? I want to put a name on this one. I'm going to put a name on this one because this is a star favorite. All right. All right. Anybody? A, B, and B, star favorite. That was no one's claiming that one as a star favorite. I want to mention someone's name next week. All right. We'll find that person. No problem. All right. Next one on the list. All right. I did this in the weekly market report. I'm going to do this very briefly. The downside VIX, I gave a guarantee. I could only do this on the VIX, by the way. I gave a guarantee on Friday that downside gap would fill. Guess what happened? It filled. Now, that is I think the VIX is going to go a little bit lower tomorrow, but I think it's going to close with a bullish candle. I think it might even gap lower and may even trade upside with a bullish engulfing. That's a tough call because you can't really call that. But I think it's going to start to rip higher at 1720. That is the VIX. NVIDIA, NVDA. What do we have here? NVIDIA was up almost $15 on higher volume. This one could go a little bit higher. That's not making me very happy because I'm scaling into some puts on this. I think it's going to go higher. NVIDIA 441.56. 441. 441 was that box went away. 441.56. Okay. And keep an eye on the chat because we have a sticky trade logo going in there. That is our sales team and folks that are monitoring that. So they're helping to answer questions because somehow the Q&A box got turned off. We have to figure that one out with Zoom when we set up this account. But anyway, we're getting a lot answered. There's RCA. You see RCA right there? They see the little up arrow? That's our sticky trade logo right there. So you see, we're here for you. That's exactly right. So they're trying to handle those questions as they're coming into the chat. So bear with us. And by the way, we will also, we will copy and archive this chat so we can go back and review it. So if you have a question you want to put in the chat, go right ahead. And we'll put that in our website in the Q&A template. Okay, because we have a Q&A page that we're launching as well. Not going to be a forum. It's so that I can answer questions. All right. DLTR, we did that one. GLBE. What do I got? Oh, we got an increase in volume. I think that's going to go a little bit higher and then come lower. Why? Look at this CCI, negative divergence. Not a star favorite, but upside is 45.24. 45.24. Hey, Carl, The video will be posted. This video will be posted to my Twitter page and ultimately to YouTube. Now, GLBE going back down after we hit the upside of 43.27. There we go right there. Next stock is AAOI. I never heard of this one. Who's this? Applied Optoelectronics. All right. Cheap stock, but you know what? Holy mackerel. I'm not going to short a $10 stock. I'll tell you that right now, but I'm going to check. Does this one have options? I got to check this one. This is going to be something. Oh, look at that. They have options. Do they have longer term options? Oh, look at that. I'm just pointing that out. Look at those $5 puts, how cheap those are. Not going to make a buy recommendation on them. I'm just pointing out those very cheap puts that I see right there. And wink, wink. Okay. Now, here's what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to show you how to use Fibonacci retracements. When a stock goes vertical like that, you have this handy little tool that's available on most charting platforms. You go to the pivot point that's a support level, and you go to the high. I think we're going to see a pullback to, drum roll please, $7.74. $7.74. Why is that? I'm going to the 38.2 retracement. There it is. All right, I'm going 773. It didn't match up exactly. So that is a star favorite to the downside right there on AAOI with those very cheap puts that they have available on that page. All right. Remember, the most you can lose for a put is what you pay for it. If you ever decide to buy put in a stock like that, not that I'm telling you here, but if you decide to buy puts on that, please manage risk. Please know how to monitor your size of your position. Please don't go in all in and let it ride. Please don't do that. This is a very calculated system that we use here, and it works out very well. HSY, my good old favorite Hershey. Understand that. Look at that. Look at these targets that we've had on Hershey in the past. You see this? Upside target here was hit. Downside target here was hit. What do we got? Increase in volume on Hershey going lower. Uh-oh. Increase in volume with the CCI still going lower. That looks like trouble for Hershey. 235.03. By the way, I love Hershey. I love it so much. I love Hershey so much. They actually keep Hershey Kisses on my desk for a little extra energy punch. There we go. All right, I'm absolute chocolate fiend. Love them. All right, so downside target of 235.03. All right, enough fun. I'm having too much fun. You got to calm down. Be serious, right? All right, Amazon, AMZN. This is another big one. This hit the downside target as well. Did we do that one? No. No, we did not pull a BAM. Oh, no, we did not. But that was not a star favorite last week, but it hit the downside target anyway. I'm going right back down on Amazon. Why? Because it's at resistance and we got a hanging man. That is a pattern trade. I'm going with the price and the candle at the resistance. So I'm going downside on Amazon, a 128.27, not a star favorite. Not a star favorite. Now I'm going way overboard because I'm only listing star favorites right now. ABCD, what do we got there? Learning Group Inc. Why is ABCD? ABCD, it's not coming up. Do I still have connection? Do I still have connection? That sticker's not working for me, Robert. MULN, I'm going to go with that. Penny stocks. Oh, sell it. I'm just going to say sell it. Don't even bother, folks. Look at that increase in volume. That thing's going down to 8 cents. Be very careful. That thing could drop 40% tomorrow alone. I don't even want to put that. I don't want to mention penny stocks. You got to be careful. If you're going to buy penny stocks, learn how to trade options to go pay for your penny stocks. All right, MSFT. What do we got here? Sell it. I'm going to sell it because that's a shooting star with a gap below the market. Downside target on Microsoft, 331.42. 331.42. Not a star favorite. AMD, we already did at the very beginning. Coin, Mara, and Riot. Let's go. I put some big forecasts on that last month, and people got in on that explosion up here. Now, look at all the past targets. This one hit. That one hit. That two-parter eventually hit. This one did not hit. This one did not hit. What do we got now? I'm going to erase all those targets. I'm going down. I'm going down on coin. Kathy Wood, watch out. You got to concentrate position. Put your stops in place. 82.05, 82.05 on coin. That is a double star favorite to the downside. I could do a 5-part forecast, but 3 of the 5 parts have already hit. Stale green light. Drop in volume on that red candle. First red to show up after 6 green. Oscillate is crossing. Sell signal about to happen on CCI. Watch out below. Kelly, she really sold coin today? Seriously? Look at that. She didn't even call me to ask me what to do. Wow. All right. That's coin. Next one, Mara. It's probably going to be the same thing. If you look at Mara, oh yeah. It's going down. Look at the increase in volume. Almost a bearish engulfing. That's a downside target of 1583. That's a downside target. And then Riot, probably going to look at the same thing, RIOT. What's Riot doing? I'm making this a double star favorite to the downside. Double star favorite on Riot. Here we go. RIOT, 2 stars right there. Downside target. Let me get that in place for you. Right there at 1608. That could drop almost $2 from here, so watch out. Yeah, that could be a big drop. Look at the increase in volume. There was a battle that went on today. Almost a shooting star, but definitely a spinning top. Oscillators pivoting lower. That's a double star favorite right there because of extension above that moving average. All right, let me do a quick count here. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. We are well over. We're well over 35 right now, but I'm going to keep going. I'll have to check to see how many we did by listening to the recording. All right, we did silver at the beginning. MSTR we did not do. Let's do MSTR. That is a sell right there. That is a sell to the downside. I'm putting that as a star favorite. MSTR. That's MicroStrategy downside target of 383.22. 383.22. If you take out your trading checklist and you follow along, almost every single candle, every single signal is bearish. And thank you so much, John, for tracking those prices there. Really appreciate that. So I get MSTR as a downside target. Next one is, drum roll please. Yeah, I saw this one come up a couple of times. SOFI. This one I had a target down a couple of weeks ago. I think that's going right back down, but it looks like it's forming another channel. I'm going to go further out in time. Look what I'm doing, folks. See what I'm doing here? I'm looking to the left as I'm looking to the left as I draw it to the right. Okay. Now I don't know. X-Daddy says all the previous bearish targets aren't getting hit. I think we're hitting quite a number. I'm not sure which stock you're talking about, but a lot of them are. All right. So now, again, we don't have a Q&A, but we'll keep it going. All right. So downside target on SOFI is $8.07. $8.07 to the downside. Look at the drop in volume as it's hitting resistance right there. See that? Downside. Next one is UPST. Did we do that one? Oh, no, we did UPS. UPST. What do we got there? Upstart. Oh, Hanging Man. Downside target all the way. Double star favorite. Double star favorite for UPST. Whoever traded that was trading that one. Watch out below. All right. So that's a double star favorite. We got a lot of double star favorites here, folks. And oscillators are hinging lower. All right, now we got more tickers coming in. Is CAVA, this restaurant chain. Some are calling it the next Chipotle. I don't know. I've never been here. It's a brand new stock. It's extremely hard to forecast this, but I can do this for you. If this is a contingent downside target, if you see a drop in volume after it rallies a little bit more, if you see a drop in volume, I would put a downside target down here around 47.31. All right. They don't make money yet. Well, you know, a lot of companies are out there trading pretty high multiples and they don't make money. A lot of this doesn't make sense, does it? But investors will buy because they like the menu. They will. They'll buy because I know people that buy UPS now because they like the way the drivers look in their uniforms. You think I'm kidding? I actually had someone telling me that. They buy UPS because they like the way the drivers look in the uniforms. This market is insane. It's insane. Where people are coming from, I don't know. All right, KRE is the banking regional bank ETF. This one gapped up at resistance. It's in a trading channel. This one's in a trading channel right now. All right, so why can't I get this? One of the downside targets hit, the other not yet. Clearing the drawing set. I'm going to draw a trading channel for you. What does that look like? Oh, I got to draw it. I got to make the channel lines, right? So we have an upside channel, though. That's the interesting thing. Watch. If I take that low here, connect it to that low, project it out to this low, and connect as many as I can, I draw a line parallel. There's your channel. You see that? Now, we're stuck right in the middle of the channel, but the oscillators are overbought. All right? I think we're going back down first. I think we're going back to the moving average. So that's a long explanation for a very short target, but 41.89 is my price target there, right? CNBC made a huge thing over, yeah, well, I don't know. They might get paid for the commercial. Who knows? I don't know how that works anymore. My show was on PBS. No one got paid to do anything. Yeah, we did tombstone ads. That was about it on PBS on our primetime show. Just out of curiosity, how many of you ever saw my primetime show on PBS called Wealth and Wisdom? It was Friday. It's going back now, but it was Friday night, primetime Friday night after the Jim Lehrer News Hour. You remember that? Jim Lehrer. Yeah, that's when I was doing PBS. Then I found out that all those callers, I'm not going to go there. Let's keep this positive. Anyway, downside target on KRE is 41.89. There we go. All right, we got GLD now. This is interesting. We got GLD gapping up, filling the gap, I think, on a drop in volume. This is going to be contingent upon a drop in volume. If you get a drop in volume, the CCI is automatically going to start turning down because it measures volume momentum. We got this gap fill here with a gap below the market. I think if to get the drop in volume, gold is going to pull right back to 179.91. That's GLD. SMCI, that is not, by the way, a star favorite. SMCI, on the other hand, is. SMCI has a hanging man right there on slightly lower volume. I think it's going to pull back to the moving average. SMCI. I got to calm down on the star favorites because we have 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We have 17 star favorites already, 17, and a couple of double star favorites. This one is going to make it, though. SMCI, downside target at 256.33. Look down below. Let me slow this down just a little bit. Just a little bit right there. We are very, very close. Very, very close to a sell signal. Carl said there is an episode of my PBS show on YouTube. I'd love to see that. I probably had a lot more hair and a lot less gray hair. I'm gonna have to look for that. Carl. Yeah. I had some analysts on there, and they would come on, and I got to quick tell you this. PBS was hilarious. They requested that my guests submit their questions before appearing on air. Seriously. They would have to submit their questions before coming on air. And then they would have to review the questions. I had one guest that came on and didn't know the answers to his own questions. Seriously. Didn't know the answers to his own question. A very well-respected analyst, but the reason he didn't know the answer to his questions is he had someone else in the office type them up. And I think the person in the office didn't like him too much, gave him some pretty tough questions, and he didn't know the answers. I swear, true story. Anyway, let's go to CCL. Oh no, guys, I got to go to Schlumberger, SLB. That one just popped up there. Schlumberger, sell it. Remember ExxonMobil and OIH? I think it's going back down. Look at the drop in volume. Look at the, I got to add this one on. got 18 star favorites, SLB. See, now slow it down, right? So that even those who are listening to it and fast forward will be able to understand me. Here we go on a buy signal, and here's the sell signal. So here we go. Long stretch of green is bearish. Why? Because we're expecting a red to show up. Drop in volume on the way down, on the way up is bearish. Wide divergence from that moving average is bearish. We have a gap below the market. That is bearish. Stochastic is hinging over, bearish. CCI hinging lower, bearish. There is nothing on that chart that's bullish. Nothing. So I got to put it as a star favorite to the downside. What's my target? I think I'm being conservative on this one, folks. Schlumberger is an industry leader, but I still think it could even go lower than this. So I'm being conservative on this downside. So we got 54.45, 54.45, just for kicks and shiggles. Let me go see if they have any options. Holy mackerel, look at those $50 strikes. $50 option expires in August. How many of you think that's cheap? Here, I'm asking you. How many of you think that's cheap? And that's not a trick question. That is not that question. How many of you think it's cheap? Well, that depends on how much time you're going to give it. See, that is only trading for around 42 cents, but it's decaying by 2 cents a day. So if I'm going to be right and make money on that, I have to hit that downside target by the end of this month, or at least in the next 6 days. Okay? Yeah, I already did OIH. So that is SLB. That is a star favorite. BYND, Beyond Meat. Oh, what's happening here? People going back into fake meat? I haven't looked at this one in a long time. I wonder if Kava is buying some Beyond Meat products to stay in business, because Kava can't buy truckloads. They don't have enough money to buy truckloads. You know that? That restaurant chain that everyone's all psyched up about is buying by the pallet. Seriously. How many of you know that? Yeah. All right. I think this one actually could go higher. I've never had a Beyond Meat product, but I think it could go higher. And the only reason I'm going on that is because it got a big green candle on higher volume. 1891, my upside target, and I am not putting that as a star favorite. NUGT is a leveraged gold miner stock. Remember what I said about GLD? There's resistance up here. I think it could go a little bit higher, than I think it's going to pull back to fill the gap. That's not okay, let's call both sides of the market and see which one hits. No, I think the volume tells its own story. Oscillators are still going up. If you see a drop in volume, then you will, again, see the pivot point form on the CCI. So volume is a leading indicator, folks. It's a leading indicator. One of our educational videos is how to read volume. I have that ready to go for next week on our educational page. So make sure you catch that if you're a subscriber. All right, so if we get a drop in volume, the CCI is going to turn, which is going to motivate some more of the sellers. So again, upside target, $40.60, then a downside target of $35.92. All right, next one, AVGO, Broadcom. Let's go see. AVGO, Broadcom. Oh, it's in a channel. This is a tough one. It's in a channel right here. You see this? We've got support. We've got resistance. It's at resistance. We'll have to see what happens tomorrow. But if it breaks out on higher volume, this is a contingency. If we get higher volume, this is a little opposite of what I've been saying. If we get higher volume on the breakout, it's probably going to go higher, obviously, to 919.96. So you got to watch for a higher volume on that to be able to buy it with authority. If it turns down and you're long it, I would put your stops in place. Absolutely. All right, Marvell, MRVL. Now, this is another one that is considered to be one of the AI stocks. I'm going lower on Marvell. Look at the hinge on the CCI. Look at the channel. Look at the resistance in the channel. We're right at resistance right here. See that? We're right at resistance. Going down on that one, 59.18, 59.18. All right, JP Morgan. All right, JP Morgan, I just caught that corner of my eye. JP Morgan, shooting star, sell it. Boom, there it is. Stale green light. I'm doing the candle pattern. we get a drop in volume, that would be a double star favorite, but I don't have any more room on my double star favorite list, right? I'm putting a downside target contingent upon the drop in volume at 145.27. Anyone keeping track of how many stocks? I've lost count. Absolutely lost count, folks. I have no idea. We're well over 50 right now. We're well over 50 and still going. All right. RIVN. Now, we put a trade alert out, but we did that through sticky trades. In fact, it was the day that I was putting this trade alert out for our option members at the other publisher, and they pulled the plug. So the trade could not go out. So briefly, I'm going to give you the trade. Ready? I'm going to give you the trade right here for those of you that missed it, because it's still good to do. Going out to the longest term options here. Going out to, actually it was June 2024. This is what went out on an alert, all right? Buy the $25 puts in June, right? You could buy those for $6.30. Turn around and sell the August 20 puts. You could do that for less than $6. And that is the trade. So you're long a leap, you're short in August 20, and you're waiting for the stock to pull back. Can that do that? I think it can. What do you think? Let's look at the charts. Hanging Man. Take out your trading checklist. Hanging Man is bearish. Gap below the market is bearish. Another gap below the market is super bearish. Wide divergence from the moving average. Wide divergence from that moving average. Drop in volume yesterday. Oscillators hinging. Negative divergences. You got it. That would be a double star favorite. But because we have this position, I'm not going to influence the position. But that would be a double star favorite to the downside. 51 stocks, Bob, right? Question is, out of the 51, how many are going to hit the targets? That's the big question, right? We'll see. CCL makes 52. CCL makes 52. All right. All right. Who we have coming in? Stuart, I'm gonna take your video off. Take a swig of your beer and wave goodbye. There you go. All right. Hey, folks, listen to me. When you go on our YouTube page and you hit subscribe, can you please post a picture in your profile? Can you do that? If you're really shy and you'd rather not, then don't. But I really like to stay connected with because that's a brand new channel and you're going to watch the subscriptions going up. You're going to watch the hit rate go up. And you are all actually the inaugural viewers on YouTube. You're the inaugural audience. And so the very first one went out today on the midweek report. Please identify yourself. Please subscribe. Please share. Please like. Please comment. Do all that stuff. Don't be shy. Share the good word here with regard to charting, and then go out and share the other good word with regard to living a good life, because there's so many people that are stressed out there. They don't know which way is up. Go out there and be a good neighbor. Live the golden rule. And that's all I'm going to say about that right now. All right. Ashley, don't be stressed. Don't be stressed. Relax, enjoy your life. That's what we're here for. I think that's what our purpose is, to go out there, enjoy life, influence people in a positive way, make friends. That's what I think it's all about, folks. All right. Next one. Rob, I got to go in with the chat now. Here we go. Rapid fire. It's going to go fast and furious right now. Start typing your stock symbols in. Did I do CCL? No, CCL is going down. Here we go. CCL is going down to the moving average. So downside target is 17.15. Next one is DN. So I just caught that. DN? No. DX, the dollar. Oh, look at this, folks. Now, I still haven't figured out what's going on with these charts. I have not figured this out. But today, towards the end of the close, this thing was completely big red and solid red to boot. I don't know what's going on there with these charts in the dollar. I don't know how they're closing it, but I want to show you something. Look at the weekly chart. See this? The weekly chart looks perfectly fine. What is this pattern, folks, that was here? What was that? That was a wedge. Actually, it was a descending triangle. It was a descending triangle here. Today, we closed below that descending support level. And now the dollar is about to go into free fall. I think it'll bounce from here to there and everywhere along the way, but the dollar is in trouble. It's in trouble, and it may stay in trouble until the Fed makes their announcement about Fed rate hikes. It could very well be in trouble. All right, so Paul said M from Macy. Let me go in there, sell it. Bearish engulfing candle. Here we go. Keep track of how many, because we still have 8 minutes left. 1522 on the downside for Macy. SLV, I already did that. ASAN coming from 13059, and that looks like a sell. We've got a hinge on the CCI and the gap below the market. So downside target on ASAN is 2181. FAZ came up. That was Lee. FAZ. What's going on here? My screen is FAZ. This is the bearish ETF. I think that's looking bullish to me. That is very close to a hammer. The CCI is oversold. Upside target of 1841. Let's look at Tesla, TSLA. A lot of people asking about Tesla. That one hit the downside. Oh, wait, I better not say that too soon. That one, we didn't do that on the star favorite, but look at how close that came to hitting the downside target. The low was 265.10. My target was 264.37, right? So that's 73 cents, right, off the mark there. But I still think Tesla's going lower to completely fill that gap. So I'm putting it right back down of 263.66. Those of you who have a Condor when my charts slow down like this, I'm thinking that I froze up. Okay. GS, Goldman Sachs, here we go. Shooting star, sell it. Boom. Gap fill expected on the downside. 319.17, 319.17. Next ticker to come up is FROZ. Oh, no, that means froze. My screen froze. All right. Let's see. My COVID lows, can't tell you when, but I can tell you it's going to happen. Some of you don't believe that, but there will be a day. And I say, I'm never going to say I told you so, but I will go back and point out the recordings of when I said it. All right. So I think later than my targets, absolutely. It's not going to happen this year. But let me just do this for a second. I want to pull up the cues. For those of you that's still non-believers that we could actually hit the COVID lows, look at the cues now, folks, and look at that candle. Look at this, what's happening right here. Look at that. Now, if we hit this if we close this month with a hanging man, and right now we're about halfway through the month, but not even 25% of the volume. That volume is probably going to close this month with less than half of what we had, with a long stretch of green, right? I believe that we're going to hit these lows on the cues. When? I got to go back and look at this. What's the angle? There it is. I think it could be end of 2024. I think we're going to hit that. Maybe sooner, but I think that could be end of 2024. In the meantime, I continue to keep bearish positions while intermittently taking bullish positions like silver and some of the other ones that we've been trading. All right. And so, X-Daddy, are you challenging me? Give me your stock picks, the next 5. Let's do it. I'm very competitive. I love it. I love it. If you're challenging me, look at what's going on here. I'm doing 5. Post them on our YouTube page, and I'm going to publish them and challenge you in public, all right? You got to put your real name, though. You got to put your real name out there. I love when people challenge me, but they got to put the real name out, all right? Because I will definitely have a face-off contest with anyone and any botty, okay? And we're going to be doing that, Battle of the Bots. Anyway, so downside target on this one could take a while, but the wins are a lot harder than go with the target numbers themselves. All right. So that's where I'm going with and looking at that. The other thing, if you look at the diamonds, okay, on a monthly, This is a very crazy wedge / triangle that's forming. All right, we got a triangle. You get any break below that, you take the height of the triangle and attach it to the breakout point. Now you're again moving closer and closer to the March 2020 lows. So we're not without a possibility of that happening. Not at all. And again, I don't know what the shoe is going to be that drops that causes this to happen, but I can certainly tell you right now, our economy is not doing as well as many people many people think. All right, go back to I got 3 more minutes, and I'm going to do 3 more stocks. Go ahead, whip them out. Any stock symbol. We did GLBE, didn't we? I'm going to do UNH. Here we go. UNH is not looking good. Now, here's one of the mega cap stocks that's getting pounced on today. Absolutely pounced on, right? UNH is having a hard time with that high volume. Now, I'm trying to get my chart to stop that line. All right, so I think we're going lower in UNH and probably testing that low from back here. All right, so here we go. Downside target on UNH is 45.91. We did SLV, Bob. If you missed that, you got to go back to the recording. I'm sorry. TZA, what do we got there? I would consider buying that, but you got to see the drop in volume first. So I would consider buying that on a drop in volume. That's what my forecast. So if to get the drop in volume, I put an upside target of 25.83. Last stock of the night comes from Eric, OSTK. Let's take a look at that. Eric, thank you so much. Sell it. Look at the gap fill today. See that? 80% of the time gaps fill, 80% of the time after gaps fill, prices reverse. So I'm going right back down to 29.01. 29.01. That is my last forecast for the night. It is not a stock favorite. And I have to ask, come on. Remember, I'm very competitive. I like to do that. 3 more stocks. Come on. 3 more. I'll go 1 minute. Ready? Here we go. Visa. All right, Visa. Next one. Here we go. Visa, sell it. Shooting star. There we go. Downside target of 235.80. Next one, FCX, Freeport McMoran. What do we got? Sell it. Shooting star. Falling right back into the middle of the range at the moving average. 39.40. Next stock comes up. ENVX. ENVX is a sell. And look at that. That was a 2-part forecast. We hit the upside from whenever we did that. And now I think we're going right back down. Look at the hanging man. Look at the drop in volume. Look at the oscillators. Downside target on that is 1752. Folks, it's 7.